the gospel today? The good news today is that God is your mother and everything's going to be all right. Yep, God is your father. Yes, God is your mother. Both names for God. And I'm going to back it up today with Scripture. That God is your mother and everything's going to be all right. The Scripture reading is not exactly what it says in the bulletin. It should be the 3rd chapter. I'm going to read from the beginning to verse 21. So listen to the Scripture, and particularly this is that very important text where it talks about being born again. So here it goes. Now there was a Pharisee, a man named Nicodemus, who was a member of the Jewish ruling council. He came to Jewish at night and said, "Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher who's come from God, for no one could perform the signs you are doing if God were not with him." Jesus replied, "Very truly I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again." "How can someone be born when they are old?" Nicodemus asked. "Surely they cannot enter a second time into their mother's womb to be born." Jesus answered, "Very truly I tell you, no one can enter the kingdom of God unless they are born of water and the Spirit. Flesh gives birth to flesh, but the Spirit gives birth to spirit. You should not be surprised at my saying, 'You must be born again.' The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. So it is with everyone who is born of the Spirit." "How can this be?" Nicodemus asked. "You are Israel's teacher," said Jesus, "and you do not understand these things? Very truly I tell you, we speak of what we know, we testify to what we have seen, but still you do not accept our testimony. I have spoken to you of earthly things, and you do not believe. How then will you believe if I speak of heavenly things? No one has ever gone into heaven except the one who comes from heaven, the Son of Man. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up. Everyone who believes may have eternal life in him." And that's an obscure story that most people don't know about in the Old Testament, where they're bit by snakes and they cry to God, and God tells Moses to put a bronze snake on a stick, and the people who look at it are going to live. And Jesus is referencing himself to this event of being a vision that brought healing, an awareness that brought healing. And so keep that in mind, because if you didn't know that, that would be like, what do you mean snake on a stick? That's a story from the Exodus. So having heard that from me, I'll go over that just again and then keep going. Just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up, and everyone who believes may have eternal life in him. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, and whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe stands condemned already, because they have not believed in the name of God's one and only Son. This is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but people love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light, but those who come into the light Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God. So he's saying some people are willing to take the medicine and some people aren't. He's not talking about a hatred by God. He's talking about God not coming to judge, but that people do self-choose and self-separate. So that's the story. And I told you that the good news was that God is our mother and everything is going to be all right. And my basis for that is where Jesus says a couple of times here, says, you must be born again. Born again. Born from above. Born from the Spirit. This is part of John's wedding outline, his outline that I mentioned last week, where first there's the marriage of the wedding, and then there's the cleansing of the temple, and now we have the night prayer, and then next will come the noon prayer. So there's a nice order in John of these couplets. Wedding could be the interior life and temple exterior, but the one is this joyful thing, the wedding. The other thing is the harshness of the cleansing. And now we have the nighttime prayer of being born again. And then we're going to next have the woman at the well of Samaria with the noontime prayer of living water. So you could look at some of these couplets like this. You could think about being born again is like being a child. And having the living water and giving it is what an adult does, right? When you're a little baby, you can't even feed yourself. The adult does the feeding. And so a child and adult receiving and giving, resting and working, feminine and masculine, breathing in, breathing out, interior, exterior. And so this nighttime prayer is not just something for Nicodemus a long time ago. Jesus is talking about how we are born again tonight in our prayers tonight. In a beautiful way, John actually speaks to this paradox of what I would call gnosis and theodicy. The point is, the Gnostic thing is that we have this knowledge of God we can see the world with God's eyes, and then we go, wow, all is well, like Julian of Norwich said, all is well and all shall be well and all manner of things shall be well, because she had this divine vision that everything was actually all right. But then you have the theodicy question. Well, what about evil in the world? What about the Holocaust? What about children with cancer? It is not well. We had it in the song we men sang, It Is Well With My Soul. My understanding is that was written by a man who lost his family at sea. So when sorrows like sea billows roll, and so he was up against this horrible, horrible death and destruction. And he was able to see enough and deep enough, or at least reach out in his faith to be able to say, even so, it is well with my soul. This is what Paul writes in Romans 8 when he says, all things work together for good to them that love God. It doesn't look good. People die, people get raped, people get in accidents, people get sick. The real bad stuff does happen. And bad things are done all around the place. This world is beautiful and terrible at the same time. And to deny either one would be a mistake. So just to say, all is well and all shall be well is okay, so long as you don't stay in the nighttime but come to the daytime of work, of dying on the cross, of giving the living water to a thirsty world. So in the nighttime you rest in your mother's womb, and in daytime you have that sacrificial living that needs to be done so that justice can come. The world is thirsty, you're on fire, and you're a bucket of water. You need to pour yourself out. And so they're talking about reality in two different ways, a nighttime way and a daytime way. The nighttime way is to be born again, all is safe, all is well, you're in your mother's womb. In the daytime way, the woman at the well of Samaria, which is the living waters where you need to pour yourself out. It's an active, so there's a passive and an active. I just want you to see how beautiful this gospel is and how deep this gospel is. It has these couplets so powerfully. So, I said God is our mother and everything is going to be all right. The reason why I say that is because the gospel says you must be born again. And that is, brothers and sisters, a feminine image. This is looking at God as the birther. This is seeing God as your mother. It is. We are so used to to pray the Our Father who art in heaven and see God as our Father, and Jesus addresses God as Father, that we overlook these sections where it doesn't directly say God is Mother, but indirectly it's saying God is also like our Mother, because this is like our Father, like light, like a stone, like a fork. You know, all these things are they're metaphors, they're illustrations to try to describe God. Like if I was trying to describe you, hopefully I would say trustworthy, loyal, helpful, brave, clean, and reverent, or something like that. You're a good Boy Scout. But these are descriptions of God. And one of the descriptions of God is Mother. It is. It's right here. God as Mother. You must be born again. And so think about it. If you flip it and look at it from God's point of view, who would be saying God is pregnant with you? God is pregnant with the you that needs to come out into the world but isn't there yet. There is an old you that's okay from the old world, the old ways, but there is a new you that God wants to birth into the world. God is pregnant with you. With the new you. The old you, the blind self, the new you, the seeing self. The old you, the low self, the new you, the high self. The old you from the old creation, the new you from the new creation. The old you from the old world that's passing away, the new you from the kingdom of God which is coming, that needs to be born in you. Even now. The old you is the prodigal's older brother who's out in the darkness and can't come to the party because he just can't let go of the old way. And the new you is the prodigal son that made a big mess of things, but is in the light, in the party. The old you. Yep, that's here. But God is pregnant with the new you. What a beautiful thing. And the world needs this new world. The world needs the church and other religious communities to be prefigurative, to be the future now that needs to be born again into the world. And the world needs saints. Saints are the new yous that are born into the world. Saints are the new creations that are being manifested in the world. Saints are that which comes from God in the night, which is shown by you in the daytime. Sheikh Fariha of the Nur Ashki Tarahi Sufi order says, a saint is proof of God. So instead of, if you really want to get proof of God, I think Fariha is right. It's not someone says, who made the sun and the moon? Who do you think made that stuff? Okay, that's a rational argument. But what really wakes a person up and shakes a person up is when they see a saint. When they see the new creation in the middle of the old creation. There is that love, that joy, that peace, that truth, that authenticity that is real. And when you see that, you're like a bee that has found the flower. You're like, there it is! Yes, there's something in you that recognizes the divine when it's breaking forth into the world. You've got that inside of you, like a homing pigeon knows the way home. It's in you to recognize the divine. It's a gift from God that's in you, that's part of what makes you a beautiful human being, is that recognition of the divine. And so, the proof of God is a saint. And so, your new self, in Revelation it says there's a little white stone and God's going to write your secret real name that only the two of you know, your secret real name. So you think you know what your name is according to Revelation. You don't even know your new name yet, but God knows your new name. And God's going to give you a little stone and it's going to be your new name on it. How about that? So you can say, what's your name? You say, well, for now, it's this. But there's that's the name of the old self. There's a new self emerging. God is pregnant with this new self. And I think I know a part of that name. The prefix of that name is Saint. So whatever your name is Saint Sarah, right? Saint Kathy, Saint Jim, Saint Terry, Saint Tom, Saint John. Hey, I'm reading from St. John's right now. Right? And so you might say, oh, no, I'm not a saint. I'm just an ordinary person. But I want you to know that it's exactly such ordinary persons that God wants to make ordinary saints. Not everybody gets to be a famous saint. Not everybody gets to be Teresa of Calcutta and people quote her, or Francis, and people, build churches named St. Francis. No. In fact, it might be that God actually prefers secret saints, which is why in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus teaches, when you pray, pray in secret. When you fast, fast in secret. When you give, give in secret, because really it's between you and God. So you're not a saint because the church gets together and canon makes you a saint. You're a saint because you're born from your mother from above. How does this happen? How does this happen? There are scriptures that have come alive to me because of this thinking. One of them is Psalm 139. It says that your eyes beheld my unformed substance, and I was put together in my mother's womb, it says in Psalm 139. And I've always thought about that as regular women and their regular children and their regular births. But I never realized that could have been about God and the new birth. And so you need to go, and so the question is this. Nicodemus says, what? Do I have to go back into my mother's womb? And Jesus could have said, yes. Yes. But not your mom. Your mom. Not your biological mother. But I'm talking about God here. But yes, you do. You go back into your mother's womb. And here is how it's done. Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, he says, whenever you pray, go to your inner room and close the door and pray to your Father. Yeah, he does say Father, in secret. And your Father who sees it in secret will reward you. So it's a masculine image of Father, but it's a feminine image of the inner room with the closed door. Temples are actually feminine symbols. I'm just going to say it. The Holy of Holies is the uterus. It's the place where the magic happens, where the life happens. And notice how it's in such a deeply, triple protected place. Biologically speaking, it's a deeply protected, safe place. And in the same way, many temples are that way. They have an outer courtyard, then they have a holy area, and then they have the Holy of Holies. And so when Jesus says, go into your inner room, he's saying, go into your Holy of Holies. I could say, return to your mother's womb. An example of this might be the labyrinth. If you've ever walked the labyrinth, what is that? Except an entrance slowly and winding down into the center, into the womb, if you will. And there, something happens. And then after you're in the middle of the labyrinth for a while, you walk your way back out again, because then you have to go back to life and be active. And so it is just like walking the labyrinth. When you go to pray tonight, you may not find yourself in what seems like womb territory. It might just seem like wandering around left and right territory, and you may never feel like you get there, because that's how labyrinths are. They just go on and on, but finally, if you stick with it, you get there. But then when you when you're done, you can't stay there. Then you have to find your way back out again. And this is a religious symbol, a deeply religious symbol of being born again, of entering into the womb and then coming back into the world and bringing something of the divine and the holy with you into life. And one more thing. If tonight, if God wakes you up and you decide you're going to pray, and you're just going to let God be your mother, and you're just going to rest in God's presence like that, and God's love like that, if you can see it that way, if you can try it that way. Have you ever heard of twins? Some people are twins. There's two of them in the womb, right? Triplets, quadruplets, octuplets, right? It's possible. Biologically, it's possible. It's really rare. But spiritually speaking, how many people do you think are in God's womb? So when you go and pray at night, do you think you're the only person praying? Do you realize that there are many people who are there in that Holy of Holies with you right there at the same time? Right? You're not really so alone. You're really a part of God's emerging community. I was thinking about this. I was thinking, I'm a Christian. I follow God in the way of Jesus Christ. I believe in the crucified life. I believe my task is to give my life to God again and again and again, and let God make of me what God wants to do, and to use me as God wishes, and to live into the fullness of the salvation. But when I come to God at night, I know there are Muslims who go to God at night. And then there's Buddhists who may not even think about God, but who enter the silence and the stillness with acceptance. And there may even be philosophers who sit around and think about reality at night. I think they're all in the Holy of Holies with me. And my proof of it is when I want to do good in the world, I find they're still my partners. I bet that the very same people that are praying at midnight or 4 in the morning are the same people who I would walk beside during the day to try to bring justice into this world, to try to do what's right in this world, to try to have our society be a good society, good for everyone, where everyone can be safe and have an abundant life, where truth can be spoken, and even though we see things differently, we can live together. So we're not alone in the womb, and we're not alone when we go out and work. So here's what I want you to do. Would you please consider tonight, if you wake up, because you have to go to the bathroom, or the dog has to go out, or you just wake up because your shoulder hurts, all three of those things could happen to me now. Right? Some of you wake up at night. Consider that that might be an invitation from God for you. A call to intimacy. An invitation to come into the Holy of Holies and spend some time there. It doesn't mean you have to have a place of prayer. I have a place of prayer, but I don't always use it. Sometimes I just crawl into the sheets again and lay there in bed being aware of God. But sometimes I get on my knees on the bench and do the whole 9 yards. But you do whatever you want. The thing is, consider when you wake up that it's an invitation from God to rest in your mother's love, the divine love, to enter the Holy of Holies. And then just hold still. Stay with that. Be still, be quiet, and rest in God's love, just like those little babies do inside their mother's womb. I mean, what can you do? You can move around a little bit. Next thing you know, the uterine wall's there. So you can wiggle a little bit, but basically you're a baby. You can't speak yet. You can't talk. You know, there's nothing much you can do except be with your mom. And so when you're in this womb prayer, it's not an active prayer like daytime flowing waters prayer, pouring yourself out for the world. It's a nighttime prayer of resting in God's love. So rest in God's love for a minute, or 5 minutes, or 20 minutes, as long as you like. And then go back to bed. And then see if that changes your life over time. See if that changes your life. Because remember, Jesus said, about the daytime or sacrifice. He said, if anyone wishes to come after me, let them deny themselves, take up their cross daily, and follow me. Whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. Whoever will lose his life for my sake will find it. And so the thing is, you daily take up the cross. I'm saying you can nightly take up being born again. Nightly you can come to God. You can come to God serve God as your father during the day and as your mother during the night. But God is Father and Mother, God is all that. But be born again. You must be born again. Now someone might say, but that's making us children. We're not supposed to be children. We're supposed to be grown-ups now. This is the time for grown-ups. We don't need another screaming toddler in the room. Yes, yes, yes. But every grown-up had to be a screaming toddler before they could grow up. So humble up here, sisters and brothers, and start as a baby like everyone else with some good nighttime praying, and it will add substance to your daytime living. They say there are regrets of the dying, and one of the regrets they say is that they didn't have the courage to be their true self. People say, I wish I had honored who I really was more, but I was trying to make everybody else happy, that I never let myself do what I really wanted to do or be who I really wanted to be, and I think that's true. People are afraid, they're people pleasers, they're so busy trying to make other people happy that they don't really live into their true self. And I'm saying that that deep true self is the true self that comes from God. And people don't live into their true self that comes from God. They are not as born again as they ought to be. They have not let the new self be as born as it should have been or could have been in the world. And some of their life has been lost and wasted because it was not in the new life, but was in the old life. Because they were afraid. Or they didn't even know there was another way. But now I tell you, there is another way and you know it. And it is the way out of fear, because there is no safer place than in the Holy of Holies, in your mother. So be born again. Be born again and again tonight. Do this tonight.